This lecture is about the times that we're going into before Mashiach, Bezrat Hashem. Like we said, we have 216 years to the end. And as we know, as we said, that it's, although we say, 216 years, we still have a long time. But we said that Shabbat can come in earlier. And that's why we can have these 200 years could be right now. Okay, so last time I brought you the Mishnah from the Sotah, chapter 9, that I'll just repeat it again. Before Mashiach comes, chutzpah izgeh, rudeness is going to go to heights that nobody ever saw. Yoker ya'amir, everything is going to be expensive, more and more expensive. Hagefen titen pirya v'ayayin beyoker. Hagefen, there's going to be a lot of wine, a lot of produce. You would think if there's a lot of produce that the prices will come down. No, exactly the opposite is happening. There's a lot of produce, there's a lot of wine, there's a lot of everything. If you notice, almost every country in the world, maybe not in Africa, but almost every country in the world is dumping food to the ocean. There's tons of vegetables, tons of fruits, all kinds of things are being dumped. Why? To keep the price high. This is something that's very known. And many, many times, Chaval, instead of giving it to the poor, they're just dumping it. And this is what the Mishnah says. There's a lot, plentiful of everything. But even though the prices will be very, very high to everything. Malchut te'afech leminut. Governments are going to be against Hashem. Ve'en tochacha. Bet avad yeh liznut. Politicians are going to be like, I don't want to say the word, but it's like like girls that are working, where, and they're just, they have no ideals. They go to where the people want. If they see the direction is liberal, they go liberal. The direction is conservative, they go conservative. There's no ideals. There's nothing that's really that you can say that this guy is truthful. V'agaliv yechrav, Hashem yishmor. Hagalil, where we are now, Tzfat. I'm not saying it shouldn't be Tzfat, it should be Galil. But it says that there's going to be a lot of destruction in Galilee. And you see now that in the war, how much destruction there is in Galilee. I hope it will stop right here. V'agavlan yasum v'achel gvul yasevovu mir li'ir. People that are in the borders are going to be out of their homes, going around the country looking for homes. And that's what's happening today. That's exactly what's happening today. People in the borders, whether south borders, north borders, are being put in hotels. And they're going from one place to another. That's exactly what the Mishnah says here. V'lo yichonenu. There's not going to be mercy on them. It's very, very hard for a person to go out of his house and be out there for like a year or with kids and the whole thing. Shem ya'azor lהם. V'chokhmat sofrim tisrach. People today cannot read almost. They have a very hard time reading. Why? Because of the iPhones and the information is coming so fast, and people get bored very, very fast because they are used to having news and new things all the time coming to their lives. It's coming to a point where it's very, very hard for students to even learn because their attention span is so small, so little, they can't sit and read a book. So that's why it's very, very hard for a lot of people to learn Torah today, that they're coming back, they're doing tshuva. Because to sit down and to start reading slowly, what the Torah says, and it takes time and all that, they have a hard time with that. And that's all from the damage of iPhones and quick news. Yirei chet im asu. People who are afraid of Hashem, nobody's going to pay attention to them. They're going to say, listen, you have to be careful. You can't go against Hashem. You can't go against the Torah. Fanatic, primitive, What is he talking about? Today, technology. They think that because of technology, they can be immoral. not go against they can go against the Torah. They don't know, people don't know that the Torah is the truth. Whether you have technology, whether you don't have technology, whether you came to the moon, you came out of the moon, everything is the same. Nothing changed. For 6,000 years, nothing changed. What do I mean? The same Yetzer Ra, the same evil inclinations are inside people for 6,000 years. We have to conquer our pride. We have to do what Hashem says. We have to control ourselves. This correction is 6,000 years, whether it's from the first man or it's at the end of the 6,000 years. Nothing changed. We have the same war inside us between body and spirit. This war will not change. This is a war that we all have to go through. History, new times, it doesn't matter. We have the same wars. Why? Because we have a body and we have a soul. And Hashem told us how to increase and be close to Him and how to be careful from not sinning. This has nothing to do with cars or rockets or satellites. These are all technical stuff that are being discovered to make life more convenient. But unfortunately, it's not making life more convenient, it's making life more complicated. So if anybody thinks that life is changing and because of technology, moral values are different, it's not. It's all the same. It's all the same war. Whether it's a person who was riding a donkey, or whether it's the same Jew who is now riding in a beautiful car and with all the technology. We have the same war. That's why King Solomon said, nothing new under the sun. Everything is the same. We are just being reincarnated to correct ourselves, but with different vehicles. One time I'm on the donkey riding, while I'm riding a car. What's the difference? I have to correct myself spiritually. It has nothing to do with technology. Okay. והאמת תהיה נהדרת. This is the main thing. Truth is going to be, it's very hard to translate נהדרת in Hebrew to English. Let's say like this, the truth is being taken hostage by the evil forces. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. We're going now into a stage that's very, very, very challenging, let's say this. We had a stage where the world was doing almost whatever it wanted. Without any, people felt that they can do whatever they want and there are no consequences to what they're doing. Now, if you notice, there's more and more judgment in the world. Hashem is judging the world more and more. For example, what does Hashem want from us? He wants, for our own good, He wants us to come close to Him. There's two different routes how we can come close to Hashem. Either a person understands from his own life that he's getting gifts and he's being loved by Hashem. And he has a life of, he's got kids, he's got health, he's got the house. And something in him tells him, listen, I have to say thank you to Hashem. He's giving me all this. Slowly, slowly, he starts coming closer to Hashem. He wants to hear what Hashem has to say. He wants to know how to live right. And he does tshuva. On the other hand, there is the other way, which we don't want to go there, but what can we do? Where a father says to a son, listen, don't do this. He says, okay. And the son continues, until the father has to start screaming at the son, don't do this. And the son doesn't want to hear. Until the father has to, from his own love, because he wants to control the son and give him and educate him, starts being more and more stronger with him. That's what's happening today. Hashem is going to give a big fear in the world. This is not me saying it, this is Zohar saying it. The fear is starting already, There's going to be a lot of wars. That's what the Zohar says. And we're seeing it now. In every corner, there's countries that are trying to go against each other. Look how many enemies there's all of a sudden to the United States, China, Russia, Iran. They're all fighting, against the United States between themselves. We see that that's what's happening. Why? Because the truth has to come in. The truth has to come in. For the truth to come in, coming in, a lot of the lies will start appearing. People are starting to realize that really nobody has control to this world. And this thing is starting to happen now, and it's going to happen more and more. For example, look at the corona that came in. Technology, not technology, big governments, dollars. What happened? A little bug, corona, came to the world. What happened to the world? There was fear all over the world. Establishments were shut down. People were scared to go out of their houses. That's all Hashem has to do to bring the world to realize that He's the only one that controls this world. Did money help? No. With the corona, nothing helped. Doctors, there was no trust in doctors. Opposite. People are saying that doctors are the ones that are giving the problems in the hospitals. Establishments, health establishments, helped? No. Governments helped? No. Nobody knew what to do. Why is this happening? Because Hashem is going to start showing us, slowly, during these years that are coming, that we can't depend on anybody, because that's idol worshiping. What's idol worshiping? When I say that something has control over my life, and I look at that thing and say, this is what controls me, that's what's in my mind all day long, that's idol worshiping. For example, if I say the dollar is the one that controls the world, then the person is worshiping the dollar. Because the dollar, he thinks that what's happening, what's controlling this life and all the world is the dollar. What does Hashem do? He starts devaluating the dollar. So that I can realize that it's not the dollar that's running this world. Governments. This president will be chosen, he'll do the right thing, and that president will be chosen, he won't do the right thing. We see that governments are falling apart. We had social democracies, and we see that there is chaos, whether it's Europe or the United States. Communism, we said, okay, let's try communism. Started up with an ideal, everybody would love each other, and they're going to share with each other. People took advantage of that, and communism fell. Democracy is also today, it's becoming chaos. That's what's going to happen. There's no limits. The limits, everything has to have limits. When the limits are starting to go and widen up, then chaos comes in. So that's where you see Europe is in chaos. So the United States is slowly in chaos. And the only reason for this is to realize that man cannot rule himself. Because man has interests. And his interests control him. And he cannot have ideals without interests. The only one that can control a man is the one that created him, which is Hashem himself. And he gave us the manual of how to live. If we listen to this manual, there's no problem. We'll have the best life in the world. But if we want to create our own rules, then it's going against what the Almighty is saying. And that's why fear is coming in. I'm just explaining it because I know that's what's happening now, and we have to understand what's the purpose of this fear. The purpose of this fear is for me to examine my life and see where is the truth. Because fear does that. And then when I see that, listen, I cannot depend on this one and the dollars and governments and health, who can I depend on? will start looking upstairs, saying, wow, he's the one who's doing all this. And that's what Hashem wants. He wants us to come close to him. And like I said before, there's not much time. That's why time is running very fast. The corrections are being done very, very fast. There's almost no person that I talk to that didn't tell me, listen, time is just flying. When I was young, time was not flying like this. Today, Baruch Hashem, we're going from Shabbat to Shabbat. The minute Tuesday comes in, it's already Shabbat there. And it's going faster and faster. Why? It's the same time. Look at the clock, it's 24 hours. How can it be that it's going faster? It's going faster. Hashem says, Achishena, the process of Mashiach is going to be, I'm going to speed it up. So everything is in speed. Everything is coming very, very fast. At a point where it's going out so fast that we cannot even digest the news that we are reading. We can't even digest what's happening with us because it's going so fast. Processes that took 50 years are now being taken maybe in 10 years, maybe in 5 years, in a year. Everything is coming fast. Why? Because the corrections are coming faster and faster. Because the process of Mashiach is, a Torah compared it to a woman that gives birth. When you see, like when the birth is coming, at the beginning it's like slower and slower and slower. Then it becomes faster and faster until the baby comes out. This baby is going to come out very soon. That's why things are very fast now. So, in order for the truth to come out, processes have to go to extreme. Let me explain. When everything is in the middle, then you've got opinions going right or left, whatever their opinions are. But we see that there's movements now that are very extreme. For example, you take politics. All of a sudden you've got leftist liberals going to a very, very extreme, or rightists that are going to the very, very extreme. Why is this happening? I'm just giving an example. Why this extreme is coming in? Because the extremes are separating people, and a person says, listen, this is already too much where it's going. And he looks at another side and says, this is already too much. The opinions and the ideas over there are just too much. Why is this happening? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants the person to start thinking for himself. What's happening in this world? When extremes come in, people think. That's why, and what happens is these extremes are coming in, and it's few people, not the majority of the people, but they're screaming and they're yelling and they're making such a noise that everybody is starting to be scared. What's happening? Where are all these ideals coming from? It's all bringing you back to say, where is the truth? Where is the truth? And this is now the process of the truth coming up. Slowly, slowly, everybody is going to say, listen, can I trust governments? Can I trust dollars? Can I trust health? Can I trust establishments? All the things that I trusted before. What's happening? And it says in the Tehillim, V'yimotu kol masdei haaretz. What does it mean? All establishments are going to lose their power. That's very, very scary. Because the feeling of a person where he secured himself with banks, with health, with this and that, all of a sudden he says that the carpet is being taken out from under his legs. And his confidence in what's going on in the world is becoming less and less. But not to worry. It's all for the good. It's all for us to say, he is the one. There's nothing else over here. Nothing. He is the one and the Torah is the one. Okay. How much time we have?
It's 24 minutes.
26, wow. Okay. Now, anti-Semitism is another process that's happening. Why is it happening? Yeah, I'll show you exactly what it says over here in the Torah. הקדוש ברוך הוא ייתן בלב העמים לגרשה מביניהם ויקבצו בחמה שפוכה. This is amazing. This was written around 2,000 years ago. והוצאתי אתכם מן העמים. הקדוש ברוך הוא says to us, before Mashiach, anti-Semitism is going to rise. Why? Because anti-Semitism makes Jews think. People who are very, very far away, that never thought of themselves as Jewish even, and without knowing what is Judaism, all of a sudden they see Goyim that they were friends with are going against them. Why? Because you're Jewish. So, well, what is Jewish? Why does he hate me? That makes people to start looking about their Judaism, first of all. That makes awareness of Judaism. Second thing, it says in the Torah that at the end of times, before Mashiach comes, where is the safe haven? In Israel. The safe haven is going to be Israel. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants all Israel to come in, all the Jews to start coming into Israel. And like I said before, people are not going to leave their steaks, and their Mercedes-Benz and BMW voluntarily and come to Israel. I wish it would happen. That would be the best thing. But unless there is a shake-up, nobody's going to leave. So that's why I said last time, please consider what the Torah says. It's not me. What the Torah says, and start buying houses, start thinking about coming to Israel, B'ezrat Hashem. That's going to be the only safe haven in the whole world. The Torah is saying that there's going to be troubles in Israel. It doesn't mean that this is going to be a place with no problems, the whole world is going to be with problems. No. It's going to be hard also here in Israel because we're all going through corrections. Me, you, everybody's going through corrections. We all have to correct. Nobody's perfect here. If we were perfect, we would not be here. So we have to correct. The corrections are going to be in Israel, but with a lot of mercy, with a lot of time. In the rest of the world, it comes very, very fast. There's not much time over there. That's why you see, for example, what happened with the Twin Towers. That was very, very fast, without any preparation. Boom, all of a sudden the Twin Towers were down, and America was in a very big danger. In Israel, you see, we have problems, we have troubles, yes. But always there is time. It's coming slowly. People can a little bit digest and do tshuva. More and more, we're going to realize that this world is an imagination world. And the only thing that's real is the Torah. And everything that Kadosh Baruch Hu is doing now is just to bring us to the Torah. It's all for the good, all for the good. That's the purpose. That's why I'm saying all this, so that in time that comes in, we're going to see a lot of things that I said. Not I said, that's written in the Torah. And we have to know not to be scared. We have to only do one thing. Look at ourselves, say, what am I doing here? Start asking questions, and start looking at the right way to live. Thank you.